Hi, my name is Lisa DiGirolamo, and I'm going to be giving you an introduction to our course, our ecol 10, or Introduction to Ecology online course. You can call me Dr. DiGirolamo, or you can call me by my first name. Either is fine. So even if you've used Insight before, I want to give you a little orientation to the website so that you know how to navigate around. It would be really good for you to take some time, especially in the beginning, to get familiar with the website in order to be able to navigate it easily. It's not always as intuitive as it may seem. So let's look up here at this first big front section. As you can see, the one before the date start, where it has basically general course information. If you want to get a hold of me, you click here, and that'll bring you up to my website. Now, this is an external website. It's got my email address. It's got all the information you need for when my office hours are. I prefer that you try and contact me through the messaging system within Insight. If it's personal, contact me through the messaging system. If it's a general question, there's another place for you to put those. Try not to use my email address unless you absolutely have to. I get a lot of email and it's very easy for them to get lost. So if you must email me, make sure that you put, let's go back, that ecol 10 in the headline. So let's go to your course. So on my general website, I do have information for your course, and it just gives you some basic information. All right, let's go back to the Insight website, and let's look at this general section again. So the first section you'll have are the forums. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. The next is the general Insight and course information. So this is all about how you can use Insight. So I would strongly advise you to take the quiz, Are You Ready for an Online Class, just so that you understand basically what is expected of you. Let's see. The next is the course syllabus and schedule. You just click on them and then the file comes up. The course schedule may change, and in fact it will change. The only thing that will not change on it are the exam dates. Exam dates I usually hold very firm, and I will not change them. Your exams are all on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. So the usual way I do it is there are 4 exams. You can drop one. If you can't make one, if there's some reason you can't get online at that time, I would suggest that that's just the one you drop. I do not give makeup exams. That's all in the course syllabus. And so you have to read the course syllabus and you will learn all that. The next is about the term project, and this is the assignment. This is the map of the term project sites. That's not active just yet, and I will be getting that active as soon as possible. And next is some information about our academic counselor who specializes in ecology, environmental science, and sustainability. So that's all the general announcements. The general class forums, we have 2 of them. The first is the ecol online course announcements. This is where I make announcements to you. Now, I force this to go to your email, and this will be your CCSF email. If you do not check this regularly, or this is an issue for you, you can forward that email on to whatever email account that you normally do check. I urge you to do that. And if you have trouble, you can always come see me, and I will help you to do that. The next one is this Ask a Question forum. This forum is for any general questions you have about the course, about due dates, about assignments, anything that any one of the students in the class can ask. My most successful students over the years have been the ones that use this forum a lot. So if, say, you're unclear about when an assignment is due or what's expected of an assignment, or there's a broken link, or there's some problem with one of the lessons, you'd post the question here. And the reason for that is that everybody else will see it. And I'm online, usually during the day, regular business hours. Don't expect me to be online at night or on the weekends, though sometimes I am. If I am, I'll answer you. But that's not the expectation. However, your fellow students usually are, and they may have the answer to your question at the time when you're online, when I'm not. So not only I want you to ask the questions here, I want you to answer your fellow students. So that's just the general part. The next part is just the two blocks. There's one on the left and there's one on the right. The one on the left, first we have the science news. I just find this interesting. I love reading these, even just the headlines if you don't have time to click on them and read the articles, but they're usually really interesting. The second block here is the activities block. And one thing you should know about Insight is there's usually multiple ways to get to the same item. So I've arranged the course that goes weekly. So every week you'll have a set of assignments and you'll have a set of what's expected for the week. But say, for some reason you're having trouble finding something, you can just click on this one of these blocks here. So say you're unsure about quizzes, what quizzes there are. You could click on it and then all the quizzes that are due and when they're due would come up. Next is the My Courses. Well, that will be your courses. Obviously, I have a lot more than you. The navigation, general navigation, administration. The grades is an important one. This is where you will be able to see your grades. If you look at the user report, it'll show you how you're doing and you'll be able to track your progress through the semester. Your profile settings, where you can change some of your profile settings, such as do you get all your forum posts in a daily digest, or do you get each one anytime someone posts? You can put a picture next to your profile. There's a whole bunch of things you can do that I would suggest. Oops, just ignore my computer. Let's see, and then technical support. Up here on the right is going to have the section links. So right now I only have the first week open, and I'm probably going to try and open sections at a time. Actually, for the ongoing course, I wouldn't count on sections being open, but every week is going to open on Tuesday. And as that week opens, you'll have the week to do it. I'm going to keep open the whole entire section until the exam, and then I'm going to close that section out. Latest news, is there any announcements I make to you? Upcoming events, this is yet another way for you to get to upcoming events. So again, if you don't want to go here into your lessons, or you don't want to go through the week, you can go to lessons here. And if you click on the lesson here, it'll give you the lesson for the week. The lesson is not the reading, but the lesson is participatory part. It's got both information and it's got questions. And it's broken down into chapters. I've devised it so you can do each chapter individually. And I would suggest you do it that way. You don't have to do all the chapters at once. So you do it in bits and chunks as you have time. The next are if you want to take any of the quizzes. So if you want to take the quiz on the chapter, you can take that. The next section are the messages. This is our messaging system. I strongly prefer you to message me when you can message if you need to contact me instead of using email. Email's last resort. Messaging is private, so it's not going to message the whole class. You message just to me. And then checklist. I have the whole class up, but for you, it'll just be for you. The next thing is the calendar function. And right now, because I haven't input all the due dates, the calendar function is not as useful as it could be. One thing I really like about the calendar function is if I click on August, it comes up with all of the assignments that are due for the month. You can actually download this, and if you have a smartphone with, I think I'm not sure which kind of calendar. I imagine it works on Google Calendar. I know it works on the iPhone calendar. You can just import those assignments so it can give you notifications of when things are due. Unfortunately, you can only import a month at a time. It's not the best, but it's useful to have. I'll also be putting in any important dates like drop dates and add dates. I haven't had a chance to do that, but I will. So those are the two blocks on the left and the right, general navigation blocks. The most important block, though, is going to be this block, is the weekly block. One way you can get to it is by here, that section link, or you can just scroll down to it. The first part of it is going to have what our learning objectives for the week are. Read these. Make sure you know these because I'm going to base our exams off of these learning objectives. The next is going to be this picture here. That picture actually is going to refer down here to the contest, which we'll get to. So keep that in mind. Then there's going to be a series of instructions. right now, how the week works, please read first, is your book. It's kind of it's not a lesson where it's interactive, but it's more of reading for you to do. That'll just be up the first week. You're not going to have that after this week. And then all these headings are going to stay the same. So the introductions, again, that's only going to be for the first week. You're going to have to complete this forum. You click on it, and the instructions are in there.
So, since this is our first post...
the video just went right to it. But you're going to do that first introductory forum. And if you don't do it, I am going to drop you from the course because we do have a long waiting list. Try and do that as soon as you can. The second part is reading. It gives you the textbook reading. Now, the textbook you can get online. You don't have to get it through the bookstore. Any edition is fine. The second edition is just as good as the third. The main difference is the third has an additional chapter in it, but I will give you that information. So don't go out and spend the $120 or $130. You can just get one of the cheap older versions, and some are so cheap they can get them for less than $15. Until you can get the textbook, I have the first chapter right there. And then I have other reading. I might have videos here. I might have additional reading. They're all required. If it's under this reading block, it's required. The next are the lessons. So there's the reading part, which are labeled as the books, and then the lesson, which is interactive. You get points for that lesson, so make sure you do it. And it's iterative. If you get one wrong, you get to redo it until you get it 100% right. These lessons are about a third of your grade. There's no excuse for you not to get 100% of those points. Sorry. Then there's the forums. Every week, except for exam weeks, you're going to have a forum where it will be asking you to complete some kind of task. Here are the quizzes. The course agreement is after you read the syllabus and you take the Are You Ready for an Online Quiz? It's all information in there. In general, the week is going to end on Tuesday at noon. I'm also when I'm going to open up the next week, probably not until about Tuesday at 6. But by the end of Tuesday, the week opens for the next week, and it's due on Tuesday at noon. I do not keep things open. If you're late, and you lose those points. I cannot open it just for one person, and it's just going to be too confusing. So make sure it's done on time. You have a whole week. Do it early, and internet accessibility problems are not an excuse. I have internet accessibility problems, and I can tell you that I have to plan my week around having access to the internet. The contest question is extra credit. You're eligible to do 3 of them. You can read the forum. It's going to be asking you about what this picture refers to. It refers back to something in the text. And then the first one to answer it correctly in the week gets the extra credit points. You can do that up to 3 times. And that's for people who really just want that extra challenge. You don't have to do the contest, but there's going to be one every week. The final is a checklist. So there's 2 different ways that you're going to have a checklist. And this is going to appear at one of your blocks. But it's going to give you this green bar to show you, did you actually do everything that I asked you to do? And that'll be a good gauge for you to know, have you done everything? And then here, these boxes also will get checked. So it's a second kind of checklist. You get no points for the checklist, but they are a helpful way of letting you know what you've done. And just so you know, week 1 checklist, I have all of you here. And on this, I can see what all of you have done. I know when you do it, and believe me, I will be monitoring you. So I'm going to hopefully be making this a good course. It's the first time I've ever taught an online course. My goal is for us to get to know each other, to become a close community of learners. A lot of that information is on there. Please just let me know if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer you. Also know that we do have a in-person orientation I would strongly urge you to attend. It's not mandatory, but it would be a good idea if you could. It's this coming Wednesday from 6 to 7 in the Science Building S309. That's on the website. It's listed here as well. I will send out an announcement. The room was not on the syllabus or the class schedule, so we're nailing that down tomorrow. Once we have it nailed down, I'm going to send out the announcement to everyone. Well, good luck. I'm excited about trying my first online course, and hopefully we'll get to know each other very well throughout the semester.